Coming up on today's
The
episode.
way I would look at it is that that's permanent. That's going to be ongoing. Banks love that.
Yeah.
There's some banks that will take it straight away. Some of them will want the probation to be finished. She's been there or he's been there for 3 months already. You might be able to actually speak to the boss about ending the probation early. Instead of 6 months, it might be 3.
Yep.
I've done that plenty of times where the boss has said, yep, happy to do that.
Dodgy advice and bad decisions can cost you big in real estate. We're here to make sure that that doesn't happen. Welcome to the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Jo Agresta, and it's time to take control of your property journey together.
Hey guys, Christian from Finance Lane here to do the No BS Real Estate Podcast. Looking forward to it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the No BS Real Estate Podcast, your listening how-to guide to the Aussie finance and real estate market. I'm your host, Jo Agresta. Now, on today's episode, we're diving into the side of mortgage broking that most people never see, the deals that fall apart, the advice that sends buyers backwards, and the situations where good borrowers end up stuck because something was missed, misunderstood, or completely mishandled. And joining me is someone who has built an entire reputation on stepping into those messy situations and fixing them. So welcome, Cristian Tihon, to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. I've been so keen. Cristian, your background and context, we've known each other for a little while now. We've met at multiple networking groups. We caught up, had a really nice brekkie. I think it was Beaconsfield.
Yes.
The first time we caught up.
Yeah.
Bloody great day. We had a massive chat about all things tech, and you've got such a good background and a good vibe, and I love chatting with you. And I'm like, when the hell are we going to get on an episode together?
I know. Time flies and you're like, oh.
Shit. It's like no time like the president's December. Let's get one out
it.
before end of year. So thank you so much. I just want to summarise what everyone will be learning today. So we're going to talk about how and why borrowers end up getting bad advice, how real mistakes that people make, or like what mistakes people make before talking to a broker, what a genuine problem-solving process actually looks like. Because, Cristian, I went through your reviews. Number one, it's the same consistent like words that come up, and I was so impressed. So we're going to crack right into that problem-solving side of your mind because you seem like the fixer. That's why that's what this episode's all about. And also we will talk about how to avoid the finance disasters that we are seeing pop up all over Reddit because it's coming up on the Oz Property Chat quite a bit. So before we unpack, let's step into the strategies you use to fix. So let's start with your background and your experience behind Finance Lane. So for listeners that are meeting you for the first time, who are you and what is Finance Lane all about?
Yeah, awesome. So I'm the son of immigrant parents. I came here when I was just shy of my 5th birthday.
Oh, wow.
From Romania. So parents came here to create a better life, but they came here with no English, no, skills, really kind of started at the bottom of everything. And I even remember my first day at school, I was crying because I couldn't understand anyone.
Oh, that's
and that kind of stayed in my mind. But that was actually the foundation of the work ethic that kind of got built into me from family because we had to start from the bottom. We had to learn English. We had to learn the culture, whole different world. You couldn't really go much further from Romania to anywhere else. Like Australia was literally the other side. And parents worked really hard, ended up having to go into farming type of thing.
Wow.
And I slowly, went through school and all of that and realized the value of the work ethic. I didn't enjoy school. I got through it. It was great. But I said, I want to make money. I want to get into property. I wanted to, build that kind of side of things. And that's how I got into the finance world. And then now Finance Lane is, the name kind of says it all. It's a new direction for me, and it's a new direction for my clients. And our motto is, that we have solutions that move you because we try and move them into a different direction, change their lives. That's what it's about.
I love that. And great answer. Thank you for sharing that. Like, it's such a personal journey. Like, my grandparents are immigrants as well, but not my direct parents. So I've never really gone through that, struggle of not speaking English or going to school and having to start from scratch. And the fact that, you've come from a different country, you've grown up in a different environment to where you were born, but now you've created something that helps everyone, in such a different and unique way. And I think this is the difference and why I wanted to bring you in, because we talk to a lot of brokers, of course, and everyone's had great value to share. But where I like to focus on every different professional is what's the unique story behind it and their mission why. And you're kind of the only broker I've found that is this like fixated on the fixing and the changing lanes, like you said.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I love it. So, and what, I guess, pulled you into mortgage broking originally, and when did you realise that this career was like the right fit for you?
So again, I wanted to get into property, and when I was turning 18, I actually managed to land a job at NAB.
Oh, no.
through my girlfriend at the time. Her mum was actually an executive assistant to one of the heads of, and she's like, "Come join NAB while you're studying real estate."
Wow.
And I said, "All right, let's do that."
All right.
And I couldn't even start at NAB because I was still 17 at the time. So
Oh,
I had a week left till I could finish school, do my last exam, and then literally did my last exam year 12. And a week later, even before Christmas, because it was like November-ish, I started at NAB and then stayed there for 11 and a half, almost 12 years.
My God.
Climbed the corporate ladder, and then I'm like, I got to get out into broking, got to see what that world is like. And now it's been 11 years total in the broker world. Yeah.
Far out, like so same time, just about.
Yeah.
But it's like what I like then is you have
Oh my God.
climbed the corporate ladder, and then I'm like, I got to get out into broking, got to see what that world is like. And now it's been 11 years total in the broker world. Yeah.
far out, like so same time, just about.
Yeah.
But it's like what I like then is you have you've worked at a big bank, right?
Yeah.
You actually know now the difference and benefits of just brokering from one bank versus brokering through a broker.
Yep, exactly.
So this is going to be interesting. I probably have
Yeah.
follow up to this.
No worries. Go for it.
And looking back at those early days, what's one thing that you wish borrowers understood sooner? Because going down that same theme, you worked at the borrower, the lender themselves. What's one thing you wish they understood more?
Having both of those worlds, and the broker world has taught me so much because you're working with like 60 different banks and there's always more and all of that. I think one thing I'd like borrowers to know is that there is so much choice. There's still people out there that are going direct to bank, which is fine. It's okay. But there's so much out there, and even comparing brokers, you know, like going to different ones, seeing what they're all about. You might click with one. I've got different experience to another broker. We might do the same job, but I might choose a lender for one reason and another one might choose it for another. And it's like, which one do you click with? What strategy is the right one? And just knowledge is potential power, right? So you've got to like talk to people, see who you click with, and get started early. That's the important part.
I think that's so true because, you know, when you think about professionals in general, like everyone I think either goes to whoever mum and dad used 10 years ago, whoever your cousin or your auntie used, you know, 5 years ago, and you kind of just go, oh, okay, and you don't really do much thinking. I think this is more prevalent for first home buyers who are just going into it. They go with who's recommended, right?
Correct.
And it's great for some brokers because it's repeat business. I totally get that. But then are they the right broker for them, or were they just the right broker for their parents in that situation at the time?
Yep.
So this is, I see that a fair bit happening.
You're probably seeing some trends and things like that with all the people that you have on.
Oh, especially with being European background, you'd get this. We all have a guy for something. It's like, no.
No.
I got a broker. He's the best one. And you
yeah.
go and it's like some 70-year-old, he wants to retire. He's over it. and you're like,
it depends.
Jesus Christ.
It depends. Look, I try and paint myself as that guy as well, right? Like,
I got a guy.
Come to me, and I try and be the connector, not just the broker, right? Because it's like you know so many people and people that I've used along the way who are really good at their job, and you have that network of people that you can trust, and by trusting me to connect them with all those people, it makes me stickier as well, because then they come to me for everything, and I can be that trusted person as well.
And I think like this is like one little tip for our listeners, right? A lot of you guys have sent in questions about, oh, my agent or my broker always refers their professionals. It's because they're getting clips of the ticket. I'm not giving it to them. And I'm like, what you don't get is like how often, and you would know this, Christian, how often has one of your partners pulled through for you? Like, for example, a buyer's advocate that you're working with has gotten a deal across the line, has made something happen, and you're like, if I didn't have this person, I would have been waiting till next week.
100%. And with my referral partners, I don't do that. I don't actually have a clip situation, and I've never done that. the reason why is because it muddies the waters a little bit. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, are you referring me to them because you're getting money? I actually actively say I don't get money from this person. They just do a really good job at what they do. And then, you know, the business comes back. It's karma. Like what you put out
Yeah.
comes back. It looks after. I get enough, you know, inquiries where I don't have to go, oh, I've given you 5 leads, you've given me 0. It's not about that. It's about looking
Nah.
after the client.
And it gets messy too when you're trying to track things like that, and it gets overwhelming. It's like, oh shit, how many did I refer to that person? Oh no, now I've got to be fair to that person. It's like
Easy.
it all comes back, like you said, in the wash for a lot of professionals, and I think those are the ones that are doing it right.
For sure.
So now that we've kind of set the scene and we know more about you, I want to talk about what you see in the real world, because the reason clients speak so highly of you isn't just because you get approvals. It's because people come to you when something has either gone wrong or is going wrong, or they're worried about it going wrong in general, right? So what are the most common, I guess, broken or half-finished situations that you see coming across your desk?
Broken situations is when the advisor that they've used in the past, whether it's a bank, broker, whoever it is, they haven't actually delved into the situation as much as they should have. Like they've made it, put it in the too hard basket, and they've gone, nah, this one isn't going to work, or you have to wait 6 months or whatever. And one of the things that I'm seeing is that they're using, especially brokers, they'll use their 5 top lenders or 10 top lenders and kind of stick to them and not get out of that lane. If you look at my kind of loans, there's lenders that I might use, once a year, but that lender suited that client, and it might be a lender I've never used before, right? So that could be a broken situation where you've been told, no, you can't do it. Come to someone like me who has, 22 years of experience or thereabouts, and it's like, hold on, I've seen this before. I've done this, how about we look at this lender or that lender, give me a full situation. And then it's like, I've got a solution.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And this is the thing, like you said it so well, they don't get deep enough into the situation. Why do you think that is? Like, is it too much of like a Pandora's box that when you start opening that door, it's kind of like, oh no, you're telling me too much?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that it is a knowledge thing. Like I'll never put other brokers down or anyone.
Yeah.
Like we're all trying to, do the best we can. And it just might be a knowledge gap thing where you haven't treated something the right way or you haven't asked the right question.
Yeah.
And policies aren't black and white with banks. Some of them can be grey. And, if you have the right story for the right client, not breaking any rules, you're going to the bank saying, hey, I know your policy says this, but could we do it this way? They could potentially say, yes, we'll take this client on.
Yeah, got you. So it's like understanding what you can work with, what you can't work
Correct.
with, to then make that deal happen.
Correct.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And then, what are borrowers, on the other hand, accidentally doing that creates unnecessary problems without them realising?
That fear of actually speaking to someone early when you're not ready, that's a big thing, right? They come and they speak to us when they think, oh, now we're ready to do it, but they should have spoken to us, 6, 12 months before or whatever, just to set up a plan. There's so many clients I've got that are in the pipeline that might not be ready for 6 or 12 months, but we're getting the plan ready. So that fear of actually speaking to someone and that analysis paralysis, like, oh, there's so much out there, I'm not going to do anything because it's too
typical,
much. Yeah, just come speak to me. Like I don't have to be doing the deal. Like I love what I do and I genuinely want to help them and guide them on the right path. So that's what, again, Finance Lane, it's like tell them, the path might be short or it might be long. And there's clients that I've worked with for 1 to 2 years. And I'm like, if you follow this process, I'll get you a loan, and we can talk about that later. But yeah.
I think that's awesome, like the way you've kind of put it, because everyone is so different with their situations, their borrowing positions, and getting in early is just going to help set you up on that path. So I feel like a lot of people have that fear because maybe they've had some bad credit, they've had some bad, habits that they perceive as bad, when in reality, a lot of the times brokers don't think they're that bad.
No, exactly. And then it's also going back to the comparing thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you might have done that and compared brokers or banks but had a bad experience. That doesn't mean you're always going to have a bad experience. It's like the bad apple theory, right? If you bite into one, you might never try one again. Don't do that. Like just keep going. It could change your life. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's the same thing with like real estate agents. They have a very bad rap. And, and it's like unfortunately maybe there's a few more bad apples out there than good, but it's the same theory. It's like not all of them are that way. You had a bad experience. It sucks. You have to keep persevering.
Yeah.
And I guess what are some of the biggest things that you see brokers or banks misunderstanding or getting wrong?
I think brokers just making sure that you're looking after the clients after as well. Like
Oh,
you've tried so hard to get them. Like, but it's also understanding what does their 5-year plan look like, 10-year plan. I've won deals before where I've asked them about what are your 5 and 10-year plans, and they're like, oh, no one's asked me this before. It's just a transactional thing. Do you know what I
oh
mean? So it's like,
wow.
oh, I'll get you the deal done. Great.
Yeah.
I've got one lady now. She's like, I haven't heard from my broker in 12 months. She goes, I'm coming with you because he hasn't spoken to me in 12 months. She goes, he called me on my 12-month anniversary, and she's like, I want more information. I want knowledge. I want, touch points and things like that. And I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Socials and personal and things like that. So that's one thing with the brokers that they definitely kind of the relationship, nurture
You got to
that.
build it.
You got to build it.
Because like I was literally just saying to our last guest, like I haven't I did my my home loan maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from my broker since. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's common.
yeah, it's super common because I get that was a transaction for the time. Totally cool. Understand we've all got shit to do, but at the same time, now that I know so many brokers in the space and I'm seeing what good service looks like, what other professionals are doing, how they treat their clients, it makes me very kind of like, oh, well, far out. I
Yeah.
have not heard from this person. Now I want to refinance. And I guarantee the minute I do that, she's going to pick up the phone and go, hi, how you been? Why are you refinancing?
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of the banks, right? Like again, the relationship thing. Like I get so many referrals from existing clients because they've had a great experience, but I'm the go-to, right? I'm
Yeah.
that go-to person. If you look after them, they'll look after you, and then more business comes.
That's right. It's like all a circle.
Yeah.
And this is the nature of the industry we're in, right? It first and foremost, property is absolutely probably number 2, like as in why we're in it. But then the first one is clients and people because it's a people first industry. Like no matter how you cut it, you're dealing with a lot of money, people's real lives, their funds and where they're going to live.
Yeah.
You can't really treat that lightly.
No, exactly right.
So I want to move into a part that your clients constantly call out in your reviews, right? Your ability to solve difficult finance problems and turn situations around that actually look impossible. Like, congratulations and kudos to you because they're really glowing. And I'm not just saying that. Like I was sitting there the other night when I was preparing for this episode and I'm like, my God, like, problem, he fixes it, problem, he fixes it. I'm like, oh God, like he's kind of made himself known for this.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you for that reputation. I guess when someone comes to you stressed, when a deal maybe is falling apart or they feel like it's falling apart, like finances and whatnot, where do you begin that discussion with them?
First of all, it's understanding, right? It's the empathy. Like, all right, I understand what's happened, genuinely being interested in what has brought them here and then going, all right, let's break this down. Like what's actually happened? What are the steps we can take? And then getting their full scenario because, if the situation is a bad one, it might be because the wrong lender has been chosen or something, the wrong advice has been given. So it's trying to work out, all right, give me everything, tell me everything, what's going on, and then I'll find a potential solution. And this is where it comes to not being scared to use lender number 60 versus lender number 1 that's your preference. It's like, where will that deal fit? I just did one that I've never used this lender before and I used them last month for the first time, so I had no idea about their process, but I said this policy fits you guys. If you trust me, we'll get this done. And it ended up working and they were like, this is amazing. Like we didn't think we could get it done because their financials weren't done and we had to get accountants involved and documentation wasn't fully there and things like that. And I'm like, let's explore this, and it just fit and they got their dream property. So it was fantastic.
Geez, good on you. I think failing documents is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
KYC process kills me at the best of times. How often do you see your clients not, and I say this lightly, self-sabotage by not submitting documents at all?
That's one thing that I say, Jo, all the time. They ask me, how long will this take? And I'll say, the thing that's going to hold this up the most is you guys giving me documents. And through my finance life, I've refined the process and made the document collection a lot easier. I left a client's house the other day and I had every document already done.
Wow.
By the end of the appointment. And that was 3 applicants. It was mum, son, and girlfriend. And by the end of it, with my systems and, processes and everything, I'm like, all right, I've got everything. I'll come back to you guys in the next, 24 to 48 hours. And client said to me, he's like, that took my broker 3 weeks last time. Like I had to send them stuff and everything. So processes and systems are really important.
So how much of that, meeting that you held, because that's super impressive that you were able to walk away from an in-person meeting with everything you needed to get it done, right? And I think that's rare.
Yeah, it is rare. It doesn't happen very often. It was just like perfect.
No, because a lot of the broker processes are always, here's a link, or here is a spreadsheet, or just email me your documents, right? And that's the typical run-of-the-mill process. But for what you've described, how much of that was the borrowers being so prepared with all their docs that they could do it, versus you've implemented something in place that made that conversation really quick and easy for them to do?
Perfect. So you hit it on the head, the preparation before. So when I said, I'm going to come see you guys, we're going to do an application together, I knew the scenario already when we spoke on the discovery call. And I said, look, have these things ready, get your internet banking password, get your MyGov password, get a lot of passwords, right? Because then I don't have to get them to go and download these things later and then email them to me and all that. Like, I want to be able, if I'm coming to see you, let's try and get everything done. Now, they all worked jobs. They weren't self-employed or anything. It was a pretty straightforward scenario, but I had everything prepared. And then when we were there, I just went, all right, I've got all your assets, liabilities, things like that. Let's do all these things on the spot. And it was perfect.
I think what you mentioned is key, and I just want to clear it up. Christian's not asking people for their passwords.
No.
He's saying get them ready.
So they're logging in, just have them ready. So we're not going, oh, what's my password to my, pay slips again? And it's, it's because over time you realize what you need: ID, pay slips, statements, stuff like that. So it's the same sort of stuff.
But what I like about it is the fact that you said, hey, just have these logins ready and know what they are. Because the challenge with, even for business, right, like just a quick segue, like I've gone down the business financing path, and even just like for R&D advancement approval, right? So for funding, far out, the documentation I needed to do. It was a lot. And I had to go fetch it, and it is held up by me. It's like I had to literally wipe a day, put an out of office on, and go, don't disturb me. I have to get all these documents in. But if I had that person say, hey, let me, can you just get this login ready, they would have, because you know what you're doing, you would have just shown me where to get it. You would have said, okay, Joe, so open up MyGov. You're going to go here. That's the document I want. Download it.
It's perfect. And, for existing clients, it's even easier because you've already got most of the stuff.
Yeah,
it's like you're just updating, right? So,
No, I love that process. Like, it's awesome that you figured out, like, this is why the problem, I can see where the problem solving comes in.
I'm problem solving myself as well, because I don't want to be waiting 2 weeks to get your documents, and I want you to be waiting because there's clients coming in all the time.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's a challenge, right? Because you're constantly getting new inquiries and then having to field those, versus then people who are coming back. And then you've got active ones, settlements, like, pre-approvals going through, loan approvals, or loans being disputed or rejected. So there's so much going on.
There's so much going on. Like last month I had 15 settlements, I think it was, altogether. Wow. And that was big to be able to manage all of that, keep it going, because I'm all about quality versus speed. I don't want to do more if the quality is going to drop. So I have to, time everything and manage everyone and manage their time, my time, and all of that.
It makes sense. It's like buyer's advocates. A lot of people go like, I want to use this advocate, but they said no until next year. And it's like, because it's quality management.
Yeah.
I would love to take 20 deals in a month. That would be great for me. Would I be doing all those deals? No. Would they be quality? Would you get good assets? Probably not, because I'm rushing.
No, exactly. And, it's also about the workload. Some people are, yes, and take it on. I'll say yes strategically. So I'll be like, Joe, I want to help you. We can help you during Christmas, but instead of doing it on a Monday, can we do it on the Thursday? Just because I've got a lot of stuff going on. And if you're honest with people, they'll wait till the Thursday instead of going, oh, I'll take the Monday, maybe. And then you add pressure to yourself. It becomes anxiety central because you're trying to fit everything on Monday, and it's like, no, all right, I think my calendar looks better, and we'll do it better on a Thursday or something.
Yeah, spot on. No, I love that. And I guess, if we're moving to can you share a memorable example of where someone thought their situation was impossible, but you managed to find a solution?
Yes, that actually happened recently, and I was thinking about it on the way here because he'd been through 3 different banks. He'd never gone to a broker before, right? And it just so happens that the 3 banks he picked were the 3 wrong ones. Like they're the worst ones, because he had credit issues, but then he also had a lot of debt as well.
Yeah.
Now, those 3 banks basically said, look, we'll help you, but you can only borrow, a very small amount. Like, it was just not going to do
Can't
the
buy
thing.
anything.
But what they didn't realize was that, all that debt that he had could have been consolidated. There was other strategies. There was also family that was happy to help him pay out with gifts and things like that. And I didn't, no
Oh.
one had asked him that, right? So, and I just ask, it's a natural thing for me. I'm like, is there anyone that can help you pay it out? And, it's a gift, or is there anyone, are you happy to consolidate the debt if there's no gift, and then maybe extend that over a longer term? That might actually be in their best interest, because they're happy to prioritize the home loan and have the personal loan debt, credit card debt over a longer term, but then we accelerate the payments, right? It's like, even though it might say 7 years for the personal loan on paper, it's like you still pay it off in 2 or 3 or whatever if you keep the payments the same. And by consolidating that debt, we looked at the borrowing capacity and it just shot up, right? So
Wow.
he was like, oh, are you sure? Like, I can do this? I'm like, yeah, it is a couple of steps, right? We're taking you down a path, but no one had asked. Like, those 3 banks just looked at the situation, didn't even ask him to consolidate the debt or anything like that.
Wow.
And they lost the deal, all 3 of them. And one of them declined it straight away because they were like, your credit is not great, sort of thing. And I do a credit check right up front. That's the first thing I do. It tells me a lot of the story, and then I move forward. So that seemed impossible to him, and he came to me from his neighbor.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you meet this guy?
Yeah, he came to me. So he'd never used a broker. I had to tell him what a broker does and all of that. And he's like, how do you get paid? And how much do I owe you? And all this stuff. Like, really one of those really green. And it happens. People don't know what brokers do. And we had a bad rap back in the day and things like that. It's getting better now. But, he was like, it's impossible. And we got him pre-approved, and he was like, well, like, he's like, you've got a client for life. And that's amazing. Like, when you hear that, it's fantastic.
Yeah, because you really changed that for him.
You changed your life.
You changed your life, literally, because, how depressing for him. He could have easily given up at that point, not opened up, not told anyone, and just said, okay, so I can't borrow anything.
That's exactly what he said to me, Jo. Literally, almost. He goes, you are my last option. He goes, I'm only coming to you because Anna, she said you're amazing and you're building her house and you got it done for her. She was also another tricky client that managed to get done. And he's like, she said, speak to you. And by the end of it, he was very standoffish at the start.
Yeah, skeptical.
Like, I've been through this 3 times. Like, I've been told no, sort of thing. What do I have to do? And then by the end of it, he's like, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe it. And it's like, you have that conversation about speaking to someone who has done this before, however many times.
And I think that's the key difference, right? It's banks have their policy. They're bound by their policy. It's very hard to kind of get through that. Yeah. And using a broker for like a multitude of reasons gives you an advantage, but also the fact that you have access to multiple different lenders for multiple different situations. Correct. Like self-employed people. Okay, maybe the Big Four doesn't like your self-employed, rate and how you operate. But this really small lender actually has a good rate and they're going to help you out.
Correct.
So you wouldn't get that by going to one of the Big Four directly, unless you're very, checking the boxes like you've got 200,000 income. You've got 2 people buying, no kids.
No, but sometimes they knock back, big banks, will knock back clients that are actually good clients if they, coach them a little bit. But in big banks, like it's all about targets and stuff like that. You don't have the capacity to be able to coach and say, come back and this and that. Like a lot of them don't do that. Whereas me, it's my business, the buck stops with me. I value every single client coming from humble beginnings. It's like, I don't want to let anyone go. And if I ever say no to you and you get it done through another broker, that would like be the worst thing for me, right? Yeah. Because I want to know that I've done everything possible to get to a yes, and find the right bank that fits your situation.
No, it makes complete sense. And, you've been described as incredibly creative and solutions focused, which those 2 examples, like, it's just perfect, right?
Good. Yeah, perfect.
I guess, in your opinion, what do you think good crisis management looks like in finance? Because I think there's a lot of people like that have some hairy situations, whether it's like divorces or like they just have really bad debt or bad habits. Yeah. What does that crisis management look like when people are in that panic mode?
Yeah, I get these a lot, and I start with the end in mind, right? So it's like, all right, we need to get you a house. What do we need to do there? Now, if it's, I actually become a bit of a divorce specialist. I've got a, unfortunately,
I've got a self-appointed degree in divorce specialist.
In divorce. So I do deal with a lot of them. It's a very delicate situation.
Of course.
You know, there's people that sometimes don't know how to do banking. You know, and it's not male or female. It can be anybody. One person is the Minister of Finance, and now they've gone through this horrible time, and just understanding the situation and going, all right, this is where we want to get to. What does your situation look like? What do we need to do to get you to that end goal?
Yeah.
Bad credit is another one. I did one for a really close friend of mine. He had a really bad breakup. His credit file was really bad, and we went through credit repair. I went through savings plans. I went through everything. Pretty much a year to the day from when we spoke, we got him the application approved, and it was done, and it was with a major bank as well.
Nice.
So everything he did and the connections that he used, my credit repair, and like what he did in terms of that 12 months to basically not go out and not do anything and build up his savings. And we had a guarantor involved and a few other things. I said, if you want to do this quickly, this is what you have to do. And he listened to every single thing.
Good on him.
And it was just about the management of that. So I've got a training background at NAB. I was a trainer before I left NAB for a couple of years. I love the coaching and the training, and I go into the weeds with clients so they understand why I'm doing something. It's not like trust me. It's not like trust me. It's trust me because this is what I have in mind. So you go on that extra step.
I just got an idea for our next episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to do a coaching session, like maybe for some of our subscribed listeners.
Yeah.
Like we'll do, one-on-one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like coaching and money
Love it.
management.
Love it.
I love it.
Love
We'll
it.
talk later about that.
Yeah, for sure. Done.
And now it's time for one of our favourite parts of the show and our fan favourite segment. It's Reddit stories.
Yes.
For those of you that are just listening for the first time, this is where we take a real story from the public on the Oz Property Chat on Reddit and get an expert to unpack what actually went wrong and how it could have been handled better. And today's expert is Cristian. So I'll read it out word for word and I'll ask you some follow-up questions. But this one involves shift work income, inconsistent advice, and a borrower who is running out of time.
Okay.
So let's start from the beginning. I'm trying to find a mortgage broker that understands nursing shift work and extra shifts we pick up along with penalties, etc. My situation. I had worked casually while studying, taking huge amounts of time off for placement until I landed my permanent part-time contract 3 months ago. I was told to work the job for 3 months before banks would consider, and he did say that they would annualise my whole income. I made it very clear I was picking up extra casual shifts, same job, same payslip, to boost my income and additional to my part-time 0.5 FTE. That's full-time equivalent.
Yep.
Weekends, nights, total 0.72 FTE. Essentially, it's a full-time income with all the penalties, weekends, casual loading. The pay is consistent, same extra hours every week. Now, after busting my ass doing continuous nights, he's turned around umming and ahhing about whether the bank will consider my additional casual income. Without the one extra shift, I cannot get enough of a loan to buy, so $26,000 drop of income. I have a 30% deposit, no debt, in a good position. I've now received my 60 days notice to vacate and I cannot waste time, so I'm seeking advice on shopping around for another broker. I need a lay of the land. I've heard there are banks that consider nurses extra shifts or 80% of their value. How do I find a mortgage broker that can understand that this is the situation? That can understand and work this situation to my benefit. I've heard there are nursing brokers for a fee. Unsure how to proceed.
Great one. love these. I love nurses and doctors and lawyers because there's always a lot going on there, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you don't need a nursing specialist, in terms of a broker. You just need someone who understands the pay slips. Also, I was just listening to the scenario. There's a few things to unpack. So he or she was working casually, right, already. It's probably the same industry while the placement was happening. So there's history there, right? That's one of the first things. Now you've got a permanent part-time role. The way I would look at it is that that's permanent. That's going to be ongoing. Banks love that.
Yeah.
There's some banks that will take it straight away. Some of them will want the probation to be finished. She's been there or he's been there for 3 months already. You might be able to actually speak to the boss about ending the probation early. Instead of 6 months, it might be 3. And
Yep.
I've done that plenty of times where the boss has said, yep, happy to do that. That's one aspect of it. Now, the other shift work, that's really important to work out how consistent is that? What does it look like? What does the previous history look like as well? And different banks will treat it differently as well. They'll
Yeah,
say,
of
oh, we
course.
need it for 6 months. Some of them. I know a lender off the top of my head already that will do it for that 3 months already. You know, I've already got that idea. And sometimes it might not be the cheapest lender, but it
Yeah.
gets the solution done. Now you're under pressure because you have to leave 2 months for the lease expiring and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's just about understanding all of that and finding the right bank, because there's a lot there that can be done where the stress will be removed.
Oh, great answer and response to that one, because I knew it was a bit tough. Like it
Yeah.
had elements of like casual, part-time, you know, probation periods, things like
Yeah.
that. And also nursing is one of those industries that there's extra shift work. There's a lot of money.
It's such a high demand industry, and
Yeah.
nurses and doctors and lawyers and you know, these professions, they get special treatment. It's about
Yeah.
finding the right bank to understand what the situation is. And again, going back to what we spoke about earlier, just because the policy says 6 months doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually what it is. It depends on the situation. Now, what does the deposit look like? What
Yeah.
does the debt look like? If this is a fantastic client and they're 95% there, I can argue that extra 5, and I'll argue
Yeah.
it
all day.
all day.
Yeah, well, it's like she's got a 30%, or she's got a 30% deposit. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah. 30% deposit. Any debt or any idea?
so what did they mention here? So, hang on, where is it? Oh, she said it. Oh, he said it here. Oh my God, I did read it. But
That's all right.
yeah, okay. So, essentially, full-time income with all penalties, weekends, loading, pays consistent. 30. I have 30% deposit, no debt.
Yep.
In a good position.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just her job is
The job,
holding her back
yeah.
here.
It's understanding it. Like sometimes I'll get, like, I did a doctor's pay slip and it's 3 pages long for like 1 month. Right?
Wow.
Because different hospitals, night shift, penalties, loadings, everything like that. It comes down to the story. How much history have you had? You know, a lot of banks want 6 months casual. That's what they are, but there's always grey areas. And that for the right client with a 30% deposit, no debt, really good industry, all that, like I'd be all over that.
For sure.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, what do brokers and lenders commonly misunderstand about shift loadings, penalties, and hybrid income structures like this?
So yeah, just breaking it down, like what it actually is. So some nurses, they'll work at, 2 or 3 different hospitals, but it's looking at the history, like what has your income been over the last 3, 4, 5 years sort of thing. Like I've got a podiatrist, same sort of industry that I'm dealing with right now, and he gets paid depending on how many clients he sees. Right. This year's not as much, but last couple of years, he's got 5 years worth of history where he can show me consistent income.
Yeah.
Right? And he's got loadings and all this other stuff. It's just understanding how the banks will treat it and spending the time. It's going to take you more time to find the right lender. And you tell them, hey, this will take me a few extra days. But if I'm coming back to you with a solution, I'm like 99.9% sure that bank's going to do it because I've ticked off everything.
Yeah, makes
Every
complete
deal I've
sense.
submitted this year has been approved. Yeah, and that's a proud thing for me, but it's also something that is in our ethos because we don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah, and your whole point, like, and this is what's been so prevalent throughout our discussion today, so far, is it's that lane, right?
Yeah,
it's that journey that you've taken them on. It's not like, hey, look, we can't lend to you, sorry, or we can't help you. See you later.
Yeah.
It's here's a plan.
Yeah.
Go away, do the plan. Like that
Yeah.
client you described, where 12 months nearly to the date,
Yeah.
he's now in a position where
You can do it.
can do it.
Yeah.
But without talking to you first, that was not a reality.
It wasn't a reality. And I never say we can't help you. I say we can't help you right now.
Yeah.
Difference, right? It's like we can't help you right now, but this is the plan, like you said.
Yeah.
Follow this and we'll get you there.
No, I love it. That makes so much sense. And I want to go to the Reddit commenters section here. So some of the commenters,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are the ones that
Here
are
you go.
loose.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so this is some of the stuff that they were saying. Reddit commenters claimed everything from banks won't count casual income to some banks take 80% to you need a nursing specific broker. What's actually true here?
A bit of everything, actually,
okay.
there. So you're right. Some allowances or penalties might be taken at 80% because they're not very consistent. You know, there's bits and pieces there. The nursing specific broker is kind of half right, you know, because it's like you don't need someone who just deals with nurses. You need someone who understands that world and can do it. Like I don't just deal with nurses. I've got plenty of them on the books, and I know
like
what
doctors, podiatrists,
all kinds of, you know, that profession. And they, like I said, they get special treatment. And there's certain criteria that you need to meet, like I said, about, you know, being there for a certain amount of time if we're using those allowances, because the banks just want to protect themselves, right? If we're giving you the money, we want to know that those allowances are going to be ongoing so that our loan's going to get paid off. Because if those allowances and overtime and things like that stop, then you're in trouble. Yeah.
And that makes complete sense because it's like your income stream's totally changing.
Yeah. Correct.
So, and if this borrower had have come to you first, so if this had come across your desk, how would you have structured the application for this person?
Yeah. So first thing is understanding the income, you know, and the history. How much time do you actually need to be in the role, you know? And I'd actually already pick a lender. You know, this is the lender. This is where we're going to go. If you have, you know, A, B, C, D done, that's where we're going to go. So the plan wouldn't change. Like you come back to me, if I say it's going to take 6 months, then that's how long it's going to take. At the end of the 6 months, I'm not going to go back and go, oh no, you know. The only time that ever potentially happens is if the bank has changed policy, but then I've got so many others. And something I do in the background that I don't tell them, if I find one, usually I'll have 2 others that are pretty much my backup, right?
Yeah.
If something was to happen, I'll go to the next one or whatever.
Yeah, got you. All right, I like that. See, that was good. This is one of the things I wanted out of. And finally, what do you think, you know, what can shift workers do to avoid getting caught in this kind of confusion or mixed advice?
Understanding their income is a good one, right? Getting the contract and speaking to somebody early. If it's like, oh, I'm thinking of buying in the next 6-12 months, whatever it might be, then speak to someone like myself early. How do they treat it? What do I need to do? And get it in writing. I'm happy to put anything in writing saying this is what I need because I'm confident that I can get it done for them if I've looked at the right policies and banks.
It makes complete sense. So I think that's a good one to kind of like close that part out with, right? So it ties directly into something, that section that your clients consistently mention: your service, your communication, and your ability to keep people calm and informed during stressful situations. That came up a fair bit in your reviews. So I wanted to ask, like, you have 38 5-star reviews, including people saying you're the most creative and reliable broker they've ever had. What does that level of trust mean to you? Well, like that when you, because like getting reviews always feels good, but like when you see it like that, you know, what does that mean for you?
Oh, it's huge. It's the trust, right? It's knowing that when they think about finance or whatever they want to do, they're going to come back and they're also going to promote me to their friends and family and all of that. And just being able to deliver on the promises made, you know, promises kept, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm just going to pause there. What's wrong? Phil? Oh, yeah, sorry. It's my dad.
Oh, is it? Okay, get him in.
Yeah, I was like...
I thought it was like the cops or something.
Yeah, he's got a key. Okay.
Oh, that's the best. Come join the podcast.
We just had to pause for you. That's okay.
All right, all good.
All right, we'll do a count in and go back in.
Yeah.
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 Pick up now.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess, like I said, 38 5-star reviews, like, you know, that level of trust is awesome. And I think exactly how you said it, you know, meaning that people come to you with their biggest, like what they need, like finance and wanting to buy a home. It's a huge responsibility to take on. I take my hat off to brokers, to be honest, because it's intimidating to deal with something that's so stressful. Money is very stressful for people.
Yep.
Savings and then wanting to buy and use that money for an asset.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. So doing a good job is like, you know, fundamental. And the fact that people trust you this much and say the wonderful things they do about you, you know, well done.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Got to give you the credit. And I guess, how do you maintain that standard consistently without burning out or being overwhelmed?
Yeah. Systems are the most important, you know, having the right systems in place to be able to move things along, keep the quality going. You know, I've got a couple of girls in the office who are like, you know, the heartbeat of everything. It's like they help me and they help things move along to the quality standard that we want. And then also just setting expectations for clients. This is what we need. This is how long we need you to take to get it to us, so then we can get you the solution by X date or whatever it is. So just clear communication always.
No, I really appreciate that answer, right? Because the communication and like the fact that you've got a supportive team around you, I think a lot of the time, like it's you got to give people who are just like solo operators a crack for sure, because that's how we all start out, you know.
Yeah.
But when you, I think you would have started out, you know, very similar. It's like I'm by myself. Oh crap, I'm having a lot of deals. I need help.
Yeah,
oh no, I need more help and
Yeah.
more help. And this
Yeah.
is where Finance Lane has, you know, become such a big brand now. Like you've done such a great job with building out what you have.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
look, I've been part of other brokerages with partners and stuff before, and I had about 120, 5-star reviews there, which I couldn't take over to
Damn
Finance
it.
Lane, but I'm like, oh damn, I'm like, I got to start again. But you learn from the history that you go through and the people that you do it with, and then you try and do it better when it's your own shop.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel grateful for every single client. I think that's what drives me the most. Being grateful for those clients because of where we came from. Like no one. We had no one, and then people helped us, and now I'm like, it's like my way of paying it forward. The karma.
Yeah,
It's
the
like help
karma.
people, do good by people, even if you can't help them. It's like just be good,
Yeah.
and then your good will come back.
Yeah, always. And one of the things I want to go back to is, like I said, you worked at one of the big banks. So I wanted to like kind of, in contrast, you're now brokering. Like how much of that knowledge and that foundational work that your days at NAB taught you, like helps you today and kind of helps you have this edge in your transactions
Every day. every day. The sales aspect, the training aspect. The NAB was a really good training ground for me. I have a lot of respect for them, and I still have friends there,
Of
and
course.
they taught me a lot. And I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be here without that previous history. I use it all the time.
No, that's amazing. And I think like it's always corporate's interesting, right? Because it's always got best practices. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah,
you watch a well-oiled machine run.
Yeah.
And then when you build your own business, you're like, far out. What am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
But you build those systems the way you see fit, and you can also like pick out exactly what the broken systems they had in place, how you do it different. And this is the beauty of going to, like a boutique broker in this situation. So before we close, because I can't believe we're already coming to the end, I want to get some straightforward guidance for people that are entering the market in 2026. So what's the most important reality buyers need to understand heading into the new year?
The reality is the market isn't stopping, right? The market doesn't stop for anyone, and it's just getting the knowledge. Knowledge is potential power, because you might have the knowledge, but you might not do anything with it. And it just goes back through that theme that we've had through the whole kind of show, is getting the right advice and getting the right people around you. Like, what is the process? What do I need to do? What's my goal? Like, what do I want? Do I want a school zone for the kids? Do I want my first house? Do I want an investment? Like, I've got one girl, she's like, I want as many investment properties by the time I retire as possible. So really aggressive investment strategy. Single girl, no kids, different strategy to a first home buyer couple that's just had a baby. You know what I mean? So, it's the knowledge and using people like myself. Don't try and do it yourself. Use people and get the right people around you, build that network of professionals that can help you, and that would change your life.
Oh, 100%. I think the network of professionals, people are cottoning on to like buyers advocates now. And what I'm kind of starting to see is all the, we're going to go through like that industry buyers advocacy. I see it going through the same start that mortgage brokers had. Yeah. Where you're going to see some really good ones and then some really shit ones. Yeah. And then they're going to get a bit of a bad brand, and then they're going to go up and be like the fundamental part of the, real estate process in the future. Yeah. So I feel like those team of people, a lot of people have hesitations or like skepticism, like going, buyer's agent, do I need this? Do I need that? It's like, cool, you can do it yourself because that's what your parents did, but that doesn't necessarily make it accurate or correct. Yes. Depending on your strategy, like you're not doing it every day.
Not doing it every day. And look, with someone like myself, my service is free, right? Like I get paid by the banks, and I pretty much get paid the same from every bank. Yeah. So I'm not married to any particular bank. And the thing is, it is a free service. So you're not paying anything. You learn something. Even if we don't do something now, at least you learn something. I've had clients that I've helped that have come back to me 2 years later, and they're like, we're ready, sort of thing. And it's like, you helped us along the way. And just understanding where you're at now and where you want to be.
No, it's perfect. And I guess, what's the smartest thing people can do before speaking to a broker?
Understanding their financial situation, what they've got, how much they're spending, all of their, having their passwords is a big one, the documents and things like that. But honestly, they don't need to go and learn all this stuff. Like that's where I come in to actually teach them along the way, and say, oh, we need to tweak this, or we need to drop a credit card, or you're spending too much, or whatever it might be. Just reach out. That's the important part.
Yeah, and I think, and that's how I usually close out the episode. Like it costs nothing to pick up the phone and have a conversation, and with brokers, it costs nothing to get a whole financial plan.
literally, and you've got that one person, right? Like the one person you can always call. That's one thing that I hear about big banks. Oh, my person left, or it's always someone new, or something like that. Like this is my business. I'm not going anywhere. You can always call me anytime. I'll always be the connector. Even if it's the bank that needs to help you, I'll get someone from the bank in the right area to call you. So you're not on the phone for, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, to be told, oh, you've called the wrong department or something like that.
Oh, that kills me.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
The worst.
Yeah.
And finally, thank you so much, Cristian, for coming on the show today.
You.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I think it's packed with value. And I think our listeners, these are some of the things that we get questions on, like they'll email us and ask. So we try and throw them in. So thank you guys for submitting those each and every week, and giving our guests some challenges and some ways to answer. But what can people do to find you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Website financelane.com.au. That's the main one, and also social. So Instagram, LinkedIn. We're just on there. It's just financelane.com.au. Facebook. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll put the links up on the screen below as we're talking right now. Magically, they'll just appear in editing. I'll try and say it's right. But get in touch with Cristian. As I was saying before, it costs nothing to pick up the phone and have a chat. And look, it could change your life. Be one of many of Cristian's customers where they are having these life-changing experiences. And we're not just saying that. The proof's in the pudding. The examples you gave us today from the real clients and real stories, they matter. So massive thank you for coming on and sharing all your wisdom, and we hope you come back for that training episode.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely will. It's been awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And for anyone listening who wants to work with Cristian, you can find him at Finance Lane. All the links are in the show notes below also. And if you've ever been told your deal can't be done, he is definitely someone worth speaking to. So don't give up. Thanks for tuning into the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm Jo Agresta, and I'll catch you on the next episode. And you can do a wave to the camera. That's a wrap for this episode of the No BS Real Estate Podcast, powered by Abodey AI. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might need it. If you're looking for more guidance on your home buying journey, you can visit www.abodey.com.au for expert advice, property insights, and the tools you need to find the right home with confidence. If you're already on your journey, you can also download our app. Just search Abodey AI on the App Store or Google Play. Have any questions or want to connect, you can follow us on Instagram at abodey.com.au or send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.